Alright, so what are we doing today? 3 things. Well, and then some sub things, but 3 main things. First thing we're going to do is remind ourselves what letters we use for slope and y-intercept. And so hopefully you're thinking right now that slope is M, and it stands for movement, and y-intercept is B, and it stands for begin. Movement and begin. The main thing we're going to do today is learn how to write the equation of a line, and we're going to be given some different scenarios, and you have to write the equation with it. So you're going to be given a slope and a y-intercept, and you'll have to write the equation. You're going to be given a graph, and you have to write the equation. And you're going to be given a table, and you have to write an equation. And then we're going to learn how to graph a line when you're only given a slope and a random point, and that point's not going to be the y-intercept. So how do you graph that line, and then how do you write that equation? Let's get started. So the first thing we want to talk about is, does this graph match the given information, y or y not? So we have a graph. It says the slope is 3/4, and it says my y-intercept is b. So I always like to check my y-intercept first. Alright, it says my y-intercept is b. My y-intercept is 2. Alright, so I always like to check this first. My y-intercept is 2. That's what it says. Is that true? So I'm looking at the y-axis, and I see that it crosses right here, which is at 2. So yeah, that part's true so far. What about that 3/4? Let's see if that's what I moved to get up to this second point right here. So from this point I went up 1, 2, 3. That's true. And I ran 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is true as well. This graph does match the given information. Yes. What color? Yes. Because it has the same y-intercept and the same slope. What about this one? Does this one match the graph, y or y not? I want you to pause the video and then take a minute to decide yes or no, and then talk about it. Then I'll give you the explanation myself. So pause the video, try it on your own. Alright, so hopefully you started with the y-intercept. It says the y-intercept is 5. Let's see if that ended up being true. And the y-intercept is here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is at 5. That is true. But if I look at my slope, it's -1, which means I have to go down 1 and then always to the right 3. So from my intercept, I should have gone down 1 and over 1, 2, 3, which would put me here. And this slope's increasing, and this slope says it should be decreasing. So this does not, no, it does not match, because our line is increasing, but the slope they gave us is decreasing. So now we're going to write an equation that matches this given information. And I think you all have seen this equation before. We're using, let's see, where do I want to write it? Y is equal to mx plus b. So number 1, it says the m is 3/4, the b is 2. So I'm using this equation. Instead of m, I'm going to write what it says. It says it's 3/4. Instead of b, I'm going to write what it says. It says it's 2. I wrote plus 2 because my b is positive. And that's how you write the equation of that line. This one, same thing. Y is equal to, instead of m, I'm going to write -1/3. And instead of b, I'm going to write 5. And it's plus 5 because this is a positive 5. Easy enough? Now, can you write an equation that matches the graph? What would you need to know to begin? Well, think about it. This is the equation I have to fill in. So in order to fill it in, I need to know what my m is, and I need to know what my b is. I always think it's easiest to figure out your b. It's just your y-intercept. Where does that cross the y-axis? 1, 2, crosses at 3. And now I got to figure out my slope, so my movement. I'm going to start here, and I need to go here. And so to do that, I had to go Remember, up or down first, and this one we had to go down one, two of them. So we went down two. And from here we had to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. We went to the right 4. So we went down 2 to the right 4. We always must simplify. I can divide both those by 2. So really, we could have gone down 1 to the right 2. Do you notice that's a point 2, down 1 over 2, right there? From here, down 1 over 2, right there. So now I actually want to write my equation. Y is equal to, instead of m, you write negative 1/2, and instead of b, you write 3. Dun, 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 dun. Now we need to do the same thing with a table. And in order to write my equation, y is equal to mx plus b, we need to figure out what in the world m is and what in the world b is. Now remember, your b or your y-intercept is where x is 0. Where is x 0? Right here. Ta-da! So your y-intercept is 11. Slope's a little trickier. If you remember, it's the change that's happening in y all over the change that's happening in x. So let's see what's actually happening. To go from 12 to 11, we go down 1. 11 to 10, down 1. 10 to 9, down 1. 9 to 8, down 1. What's happening in x? Negative 3 to 0, up 3. 0 to 3, up 3. 3 to 6, up 3. 6 to, oh, that's totally a typo. 9, up 3. So the change that's happening in y is we went down 1, but we went up 3. That's an equal sign. That's a negative. So in order to write my equation, y is equal to, my slope was negative 1/3 x, and my intercept is 11. Ta-da! So this is just kind of a little bit of a refresher of what we've already done. I want to write the equation from the information given, and then we're going to graph it. So y is equal to, instead of writing m, we write 3/4. Instead of writing b, I write 2. Let's graph it. I start here at my b. So I start at 2, and my movement is 3/4. So from here I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I said I like to get 3 points, so again we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I have my points to make a nice long line that has arrows on both ends. So that one was easy because it gave us the slope and it gave us the y-intercept. But what happens if it gives you a slope and just a random point? Can I figure out the y-intercept from there? Can I write an equation of this line? Not yet, but I can graph the line and see if I can write an equation. So let's start at the point that they give us, negative 1, 7. Negative 1, 7. Negative 1 is here, and then 7's up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's my point. Let's figure out how we're going to move. Remember, you need to write this as a fraction, because all I know right now is I'm moving down 2, but it's over 1. So I'm going down and then to the right. So from here, the point that it gives, I want to go down 2, 1, 2, and over 1. Let's do it one more time. Down 2 and over 1. I might actually do it another time, just for funsies. So now I have my line. We graphed it using a random point and our slope. Can we write the equation of this line now? Because remember, we need our m and we need our b. It gave us our m already, which was nice. And it looks like we were able to figure out what our b was when we graphed it. because I see right here, there's where it crosses the y-axis, which is at 1, 2, nope, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So b was 5. So my equation, y, is equal to negative 2x plus 5. Easy enough. Alright, I'd like for you to pause me and try this one on your own. See if you can do it. See if you know where to start. See if you know how to move accurately. And then you can play the video once you guys have kind of worked through it. Maybe discuss it as a class, and then you can check with what I got. Did you start at the same spot that I did? Negative 5, 2. Did you move the same way that I did? Up 1 over 5, up 1 over 5. Did you realize that the y-intercept is at 3? So then our equation, y is equal to 1/5 x plus 3. Hopefully everyone was able to get there. Here's our last little example. We're going to see if we can finish the table and maybe write the equation of this line. So there's our point, and then here's our slope. We're going to use our slope to finish the table. Remember, it's the change that's happening in y all over the change that's happening in x. We know the top is negative 3, so the bottom is 1. So from here to here, we were subtracting 3. 7 minus 3 gives me 4. From here to here, I'm subtracting 3. 4 minus 3 gives me 1. How do I go backwards? We're going to add 3. 7 plus 3 gives me 10. What about this side? Remember here, the 1 down here is secretly positive, so I'm adding 1. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. I'm adding 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. In order to go backwards, I'm going to subtract 1, which is negative 3. Can we write the equation of this line? Do we know our m? Yep, that was given. Do we know our b? Is it in the table? Do you see it? Remember when x is 0? There it is. So our b is 1. Y is equal to negative 3x plus 1. Dun da da da! We did it. So, what did we do today? We reminded ourselves what letters we use for slope and y-intercept. And, oh, I wonder what rainbow looks like. Nope, just kidding. Can't write in rainbow. Tried, guys. Sorry. M. And B. For movement and begin. We wrote the equation of a line given the slope and the y-intercept. So you were given m, and you were given b, and you wrote y is equal to mx plus b. You did the same thing given a graph. So you were able to look and find the slope and find the y-intercept. Same thing with the table. You found the slope, you found the y-intercept. You learned how to graph a line when you were only given a slope and a random point. So you were only given m, and then you were given some point. And we were still able to graph it and write the equation. So now you have a homework assignment. It's a worksheet. You have the rest of the hour to work on it. Once you're done with the worksheet, the rest of the hour is yours to use responsibly. I can't wait to see you guys on Wednesday.